First of all, I want to say thank you for the opportunity to be here with everybody. And I want to say good evening to everyone. Now, I'm from Brazil. I'm a researcher. I'm not medium. I don't see anything. I don't hear anything. And I just feel cold when I go to Alaska. So I'm not a medium. And I want to say thank you, Ana Claudia, for the opportunity. For me, it's an honor for me to be side by side with great people like Dr. Larry Dawsey. Actually, I was talking to Dr. Alexander Moreira Almeida, and he told me to say hello to Dr. Dawsey.
Okay.
And to be with Dr. Dawsey and Dr. Dean Mereding, it's a pleasure. Also, Sonia Rinaldi, I met her about years ago in São Paulo. She's doing a tremendous job with TCI, and I had the opportunity to know just a little bit about her research, and she's doing very well. Djalma Margolo is a guy who has been studying a lot. His speeches are so great, and I had the opportunity to see Djalma Margolo when I was a teenager. So I'm not saying that he's too old, but I was a teenager when I saw him the first time, and I just love what he's been doing. And also Magno Franco, good. And Dr. Paulo César Frutuoso he's great. He's a doctor, and I had the opportunity to meet him like a few months ago in Rio de Janeiro.
Okay.
And Dr. Paulo is a reference when we start talking about phenomena here in Brazil. His books are great, and I hope we can have the opportunity to learn a little bit more with him and research. And also Graciara Roma and Wagner Borges. Wagner Borges, I was a teenager also when I first met him in his research, talking about out-of-body experience. He's the one who really knows about this subject here in Brazil. And I wanna say thank you for the opportunity to be side by side with any of you. And, well, for about 20 years, I've been working on researching the phenomenon. And that was very interesting in psychography, which means channeling through writing or handwriting, which is the title of my first book. And it'll be the theme of this evening. I will talk about psychography, channeling through writing, investigate cases, so cases studies. But before we talk about psychography, channeling through writing, we're going to have to deal with a mediumship and the communication between the living and the dead. We cannot speak about psychography without first talking about mediumship. Of course, we gotta talk. So, the scientific study of mediumship can contribute to understanding of the mind-brain relationship. And mediumship has always existed and has been part of all religions all over the world. And if you go to India, 3,200 years before Jesus, close to the Indian River, we're gonna find the figure of Krishna, the exponent of Hinduism. And reading his sacred books, the Mahabharata and the Upanishad, We're going to find information about the communication between the living and the dead from the beginning to the end. The Mahabharata, it's a real big book. It's about 1.5 meters. And a chapter of the Mahabharata is the Bhagavad Gita, the sound of the Lord. It's the Krishna dialogue with Arjuna. And it's a fine book. That's a chapter of the Mahabharata, the Bhagavad Gita. They are old books that you will find the communication between the living and the dead. And in India also, 650 years before Jesus, was born another figure called Siddhartha Gautama Buddha, which is the Buddhism representative. Buddhism is nothing more than a modern Hinduism. In Buddhism, we also see this communication between the living and the dead. The last stage, 21, become a lama. They have to communicate with the oracles, the spirits, and they ask them if the soul, that man, is the reincarnation of the past lama. When they prove that man is the reincarnation of the past lama, he becomes a lama. So in the Buddhism, there also communication between the living and the dead. I've been in Japan 3 times, and when I was 2017, I went to a Buddhist temple. And I was so surprised because they really do this kind of communication to see if the guy was a lama in the past life. So after they do a communication using the mediumship, he becomes a lama. What about the great Masaharu Taniguchi, the creator of Seishun no Ye? When we read his books, we see this communication from the beginning to the end. It's so natural. All these in the Eastern culture, it's very so natural. Here it's kind of unusual, but over there it's so natural. When we take a look at the Indian tribes culture here, we see the shaman. In Brazil we call the page, pajé, whatever. He's the medium of the tribe, the one who talks to divinity. When we see the shamans with the Aztec, the Mayas, we see the communication. So, if you get it here in the Western culture, which the Holy Bible is our sacred book for most people, no? We will find the communication between the living and the dead from the beginning to the end of the Bible. We see the communication. If you open the beginning with the Old Testament, in the book of Deuteronomy, when Moses forbids the communication with the dead, well, I cannot put a sign here in Houston. There in Houston saying that it's forbidden bath in the pool if there's no pool over there. So there's no swimming pool. If Moses forbade the communication, well, so if Moses forbade, it's because they used to do it. There we are faced with a fact. The Bible states and agreed that the dead can communicate. No one can deny it because it was forbidden. Well, but was the professor Allan Kardec on the 19th century who gave the dignity to mediumship, showing that mediumship is a faculty of sensory perception, which always existed. Until Kardec, the medium had no choice. Were rich or crazy. Studying all those mediumistics phenomena, I got interested in psychography, channeling through writing, which is the ability that the medium has to communicate with a spirit through handwriting. Psychography became very important to me after my research about the most famous Brazilian medium, Chico Xavier, and I've been studying about Chico Xavier for 3 years before published my first book. Let me have some water. Well, Chico Xavier, we gotta talk a little bit about him. Well, he died 16 years ago. He was born in a very poor family in a small village in Brazil, Minas Gerais, state of Brazil. One of the states of Brazil, in a city called Pedro Leopoldo. And he studied only until 4th grade and he had to start working at 8 years of age. And Chico Xavier produced a wide range of mediumistic phenomena. Xavier produced more than 450 books, written under direction, influence of the dead people. These books, which covered a wide range of many kind of topics. He used to write about history, biology, religions, sold more than 50 million copies, and were translated to more than 10 languages. His book, he's donated all the copyrights to charities. So he didn't make any money with that. Xavier was a poor man who lived in a very modest life with a small salary. He used to work as a cashier in a very poor city. So he was the greatest medium here in Brazil. 450 books. That's a lot. I have done a research in about 25 mediums total here in Brazil and out of Brazil. Those mediums have the ability to communicate with spirits through handwriting or psychography. Then I decided to publish this book, the first one. The name is Psychography Investigate Cases. I published 2 years ago. Now I'm already released my second book. We're talking about the same subject. And the first book I investigated 40 cases, and I choose 5 to publish on my book. On the second book we've got 7 cases, and I've been researching. My research has been we've been doing research over 250 cases. We've been studying, investigating 250 cases in about 5 years. The first case we're going to talk this evening, it's about a little girl called Carol. She was 1 year and a half years old, living over there, close to you, living in Dallas, Texas. She woke up one day with a pain in her neck, and her mother took her to a doctor, and they did an MRI test, and they discovered that she had cancer, and after 6 months, she died. Her mother, Elisângela, a Brazilian woman, lived in Dallas with her husband and 2 children. Elisângela became very depressive after that, and she got a place in the living room for the memory of her child, and she put a picture and flowers, which she used to replace it every day, right in front of the Carol's picture. She was doing that for almost a year, replacing the flower. And I've got the pictures. I wanna show you here. Let's see if I will be able to share with you.
Hi, my name is Elisângela. I'm Carol's mother. I tell my whole history in Guilherme's book, from the beginning of my daughter's illness to the time I met Orlando, who is a medium that psychographed my daughter's little letter. In this book, I put a picture, a drawing that my daughter made for me, This led me to believe that it was really her who was there at the time, right to me. Here behind me I have a space that is hers, so I have the photo. I always put flowers for her, and that is the little flower laying with her picture frame. At the time of the psychography, I received her little drawing, and that I found it so, had everything to be her, because nobody knew that I had this place in my house with those details. And I got this drawing. I will show you. This is also in the Guilherme's book. It's her picture with the little flower beside her photo. So at this time, I was sure it was my daughter who was there. And from this time, I make myself sure that she was well, she was alive, and that helped me a lot. So today I believe in this. I believe that today she doesn't have pain, she's alive, she's well, and she is always by my side, and I believe in it. Well, in the Guilherme's book, that is the holy history. I hope it helps the people who are going through this, or who have already gone through it, and hopefully people can try to walk with the truth that all children are alive. And that's it. I hope you can read Guilherme's book. Thanks.
I've been finding frauds here in Brazil. Some mediums are taking information by the internet, Google, Facebook, and many other sites, websites, and getting the information and putting the letter. But in this case, this information wasn't. I've been looking everywhere. I looked everywhere. The second case, it's another little girl, Maria, 2.5 years old, from Pedro Leopoldo, Minas Gerais, Brazil. Her family went to spend a week in Bahia, and Maria Laura, the little girl, got a dengue, it's a disease, very dangerous, and she passed away. She used it to play with the house ski, saying it was her car ski, and she says that in the letter. Before 6 months before she got dead, she had a very good friend with the same age, 2 years old, a little boy, who died in a swimming pool. Like 3 or 4 hours before she passed away, Maria Laura looked to her mother and said, "Mom, my good friend, my best friend, the little boy that used to be her good best friend, is here, and he came to take me away with him." And after a couple of 3 or 4 hours, she went away.
Wow.
It's just amazing. And you can put that movie, that first movie, Orlando's Noronha.
Okay.
Because we're gonna show about his job, how he does the communication, and you gotta pay attention, because in every time when he write a letter, it comes with names of grandfather, grandparents, names of dead people. Many times the people who receiving the letter, they don't know, and after think about it, they remember, oh, it's the father of my grandfather, something like that. It's just amazing. It's just amazing. You're gonna see now on this video 2 cases. The first one, it's on my book. You can just play.
Em Curitiba, o médium Orlando Noronha Carneiro segue os ensinamentos que ouviu de Chico Xavier. Foram 6 anos de convivência e aprendizados até que, em 1986, ele recebeu do mestre a orientação de continuar o trabalho de psicografar cartas para famílias em busca de um consolo.
Mamãe, papai, Silvio Luiz, para que vocês saibam que estou aqui, não esqueçam das plantinhas no jardim de casa que eu colocava no potinho vermelho. Tô bem, com a vó Cida, sua filha Maria, Maria Laura Caetano Silveira.
A dona Francisca havia perdido o filho de 15 anos, morto a tiros por um casal de policiais que estava em um domingo de folga e foi abordado por 5 jovens que tinham armas de brinquedo. Cauê Gomes Ferreira nunca teve antecedentes criminais. Morava com o pai e a mãe, trabalhava de dia e estudava à noite. Desesperada e sem aceitar o destino do filho, ela buscou respostas com o médium Orlando.
Por que ele me deixou? Fala pra mim.
Vamos ouvi-lo, vamos ouvi-lo.
Por que ele me deixou?
Mãe, pai, me perdoem a vacilada e a fraqueza que me tomou conta. Não vou citar o nome dos amigos, precisamos preservar muitas coisas. Eu sei que você repete para você, mãe, como o Cauê foi cair nisso. Eu fraquejei, mãe. Pai, eu vacilei, caindo na fantasia da moçada, porque eu me arrependo sim daquilo que fiz. Você, mãe, não falhou em nada. O que ocorreu foi cabeçada minha mesmo. Você não ia perceber nada. É que eu comecei a cair no vacilo dias antes do ocorrido. Então você não pecou em nada. Nem você, nem o pai Genival e nem a minha irmã Cauane. Tire, mãe, esta ideia de que você não foi atenta. Por favor, saia daqui sem esta ideia na cabeça.
No final da mensagem, um detalhe descrito pelo filho emociona ainda mais Dona Francisca.
Agora preciso parar sem esquecer de deixar um grande e forte beijo em você, mãe. O filho com aquele boné maneiro, o filho sempre com saudade, Cauê Gomes Ferreira.
Me ajuda, Senhor, a superar essa dor, meu Pai. Me ajuda.
Fique bem. Ele está bem, isso que é importante. Agora, só está entendendo?
Eu disse tudo que até dona ele me chamava. Obrigada. Deus abençoe.
Isso é a prova de que ele está vivo, certo?
Well, the third case on my first book. It's a mother called Cristina from Niterói, Rio de Janeiro. She had a son called David, who died with leukemia with 23 years of age. When he was alive, he used to write poems. He communicated through the medium and wrote poems very similar. And the signature in life is very similar to the signature after that. Because when he finished the letter, writing through the medium's hands, he wrote his signature, did his signature. It's pretty similar. And I got the picture and then I'm gonna show you. And let me show you the signature, which is just amazing. Because the medium never been there. For the first time, he went there. He used to live in the south of Brazil, and this was in Rio de Janeiro. And you see the thing. How can we do the signature? How can he memorize the signature? You can see the D. It's almost the same. You can see the A, the E. It's very similar. The D. It's just amazing. And after her mother, Cristina, received this letter, she founded a non-profit organization called David Good Samaritan House, doing amazing work, looking for bone marrow donors. She has been doing a great work with helping people, because when she received the letter, she was sure that was his son, was David, because the signature is the same. It was the same. The fourth case is a 21 years old boy from Bahia, and the same medium, Orlando Noronha, wrote this letter. Pedro Paulo used to work in a shoes factory as designer, and he died when he was going to separate his best friend for a fight, and someone shot him, and he died. He's Pedro Paulo,
I can see him.
21 years old. He used to live only with her mother's. He just got out one son. Pedro Paulo was the only one.
Only one child. Yeah.
And she almost trying to suicide because she was very depressed. And Pedro Paulo used to create designs for shoes, and there were so many details on the letter that only her mother knew. At the end of the letter, he draw a shoes with wings, and he wrote, "Now these shoes goes to heaven." And Orlando doesn't know anything about Pedro Paulo. Look the picture. The fifth case, it's about a girl called Gislaine, 24 years old, from São Paulo, Brazil, which was raped, murdered, and quartered. The killer was her neighbor, and he's still free. It's a tragic case. Her mother, called Annie, was looking for justice, and she wanted to tell the case of the daughter, because the medium told her about me and about the book that I was writing, and then she was calling me like every day, asking to put her case on my book, and I decided to put it on it. So, and she used to call me after that, say, "Hey, Guilherme, I only will have peace and rest when you release your book with the story of my daughter." She used to repeat that many times. So I decided to write her story. It was very, very, very tragic. And she used to call me every week, like asking if the book was ready. And I said, when I receive the book, I will send you. Because I live in the north of Brazil, and she used to live in São Paulo. And I was supposed to release the book in New York City. And I just received the book like one day before my trip to New York. So I had no time to send the book, to put the books on mail and send to her. And one day before I go to New York, I call Annie, say, "Hey, I just received the books today, and I gotta go to New York to release the book. But as soon as I got back here, I promise you that I'm gonna send you 10 books." She said, "Well, I gotta wait. What else can I do?" I wait so far. I wait one more week, and then I went to New York City. When I got back home, the first thing that I did, I went to the post office with 10 books. And the guy in the post office asked me if I would like to send you in a faster way, which cost more. And I said, "No, I don't want to spend so much money. It goes on the cheapest one." I asked, how long takes it? "About a week. She's gonna receive the books." And I said, "Great." And then I sent the books. After 6 days, after 6 days, I received a phone call from her daughter, from another daughter, saying that Annie had passed away with a heart attack. I got so sad because she did not see the book, but she waited until I released the book to die. No, it was a very sad story, very, very sad story.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was in my house at night, the medium called me, said, don't be don't be sad, because she is supposed to have gone, and she didn't go yet, because she was waiting you release the book. When she made sure that you did it, she passed away. So I start feeling better after the telephone call from the medium. And on the second book, I have a very, very interesting case. A boy called Mateus, who used to live in a city in Brazil called Natal. And when he was 18 years old, he started using drugs and started doing, stealing things, doing bad things with bad people. And when he was 21 years old, he went to steal a car with friends, and he got shot, and he got bad. He died. Her mother, Lady Annie, she almost suicide also with that, because she was very close to him and with him, and she gave all his clothes, did a donation, all his clothes, and he just keep it a small pen, a short, for a red short from him, and she keep that the only clothes that she got from him. And after 6 months, the Orlando Noronha medium went to Natal to do the psychography meeting event, and she went there. She never seen Orlando before. She just did the same like everybody does, wrote down the name of her son, the date of birth, and that's all. And there's one curious thing, that she, every time when he was trying to do something wrong, her mother used to complain. He used to scream with him, shout, fight with him. And on the letter, he said everything. He told the same thing on the letter. And when on the end of the letter, the medium wrote a red short like he did, and nobody knew. And this sort, there is no way the medium had no access to this information. I've got the photo here. This is the red short that she got.
Yeah.
Here. Okay. Now I'm gonna show you the draw that the medium did. You pay attention on that black part on the top.
Details, yeah.
Or you see four points. Is the place where you do, well, it's on the top. You can see 4 points over there.
Yes.
On the top, close to the red part. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to show you what the spirit did by the hands of the medium. Can you see now?
Wow, yes, amazing.
Look the top.
Yes.
On the top.
Yeah.
The 4 points over there. It's
Yeah.
about the same. So you have no answer for that. How it can be possible? Because I've been looking everywhere. This information is not in the internet. It's not on Facebook. So how the media could know this? So we got no answer for that. We have another case, but it's going to take long, and we don't have time. It's just almost finished, but it's another guy who got that, and her mother, and he disappeared, and her mother was looking for him for 2 years. She spent traveling, putting her picture everywhere, going to police office, hospitals, looking for him, and she didn't find him. And she received the message in a psychography meeting on the letter. from her from her son's father, her son's grandfather wrote the letter and told her to stop looking for his son. His name is Galdino, at the hospitals and police office, and told her to go to a lagoon in the city of Fortaleza, in the metropolitan area, Juvenile Lagoon, and then she went there. And on the letter, the spirit said to her, goes to the police officer close to the lagoon and ask for the bones that were found over there. And then she went to the police officer, talked to the sheriff, and the sheriff asked her, how do you know that? How do you know about the bones? She said, it's my son's bones. And they did a DNA test, and it was her son.
Wow.
He was her son. So we did the research on this case, and we showed that the Federal University of Juiz de Fora, with Dr. Alexander Moreira Almeida, we showed this case there. And Dr. Alexander, in August, we're going to be together in Fortaleza, and he's going to have the opportunity to do a research in this case.
E uma das cartas escritas neste centro espírita ajudou a polícia do Ceará a retomar um caso que ainda estava sem resposta. Uma carta psicografada pelo médium Newton Souza teria indicado o local onde estava a ossada de um homem desaparecido.
Esta lagoa escondia um mistério. Uma história aparentemente sem personagens, sem roteiro, sem fim. A Lagoa do Juvenal é um distrito de Maranguape, região metropolitana de Fortaleza. Fica a cerca de 30 quilômetros da sede do município. Em 2013, a polícia encontrou aqui uma ossada, mas não sabia de quem eram os restos mortais. Os investigadores tentaram identificar a ossada, mas não conseguiram.
As ossadas estavam bastante estragadas, né? Não eram condizentes com ossadas recentes, mas de mais de um ano.
Ao mesmo tempo, Dona Maria Lopes Farias, de 75 anos, vivia um drama. O filho dela, Galdino Alves Bezerra Neto, havia desaparecido há 2 anos.
Ele foi para a casa do irmão dele, no metrô, e de lá ele viajou. Ele deu para andarina, estava com 15 anos que ele deu para andarina, não sabe? Que ele tem problemas mentais. Aí há 15 anos que ele saía, mas ultimamente ele saía e voltava logo, não demorava muito não.
Dona Maria espalhou cartazes com a foto do filho, que desapareceu aos 47 anos, e passou meses em busca de alguma informação.
Onde tinha ML, onde tinha albergue, eu ia para a rodoviária, pedia os motoristas para colocar foto dele, eu tirei as fotos grandes dele.
Onde estava Galdino? Estava vivo? Morto? A angústia só aumentava. Quando ela passou a frequentar esse centro espírita, recebeu uma pista, uma informação que teria vindo de outro plano e poderia desvendar o mistério. Uma carta psicografada pelo médium Newton Souza.
Eu recebi uma carta do avô dele, que o nome é o mesmo, só que não tem neto, é só o nome Alves Bezerra. Aí ele me falando que eu deixasse de procurar ele nos albergues, deixasse de procurar ele no ML, nos hospitais, eu fosse para o Canindé, mandar celebrar uma missa, mas antes eu passasse na Lagoa do Juvenal e visse umas ossadas que foi encontrada lá.
Dona Maria chegou a procurar a lagoa, mas decidiu mudar o rumo e seguiu direto aqui para a delegacia de Maranguape. Os policiais revelaram que realmente uma ossada havia sido encontrada na mesma lagoa do Juvenal, citada na psicografia, no dia 9 de janeiro de 2013. Dona Maria pediu então que fosse feito o exame de DNA e o resultado confirmou que a ossada era mesmo do filho dela.
Se é o Galdino o único que está desaparecido, a gente já imagina imediatamente que seja ele.
Aí ele escreveu a carta, aí muito satisfeito e dizendo que mãe, agora estou satisfeito porque é verdade o que deu no DNA. Ele me escreveu uma carta, antes de eu fazer o exame, ele me escreveu uma carta contando tudo. Disse que não ia descer lá, desceu por acaso porque ele achava a lagoa muito bonita e como ele gostava de aventuras, então desceu e ficou admirando. Aí lá veio o povo, chegaram, pensavam que ele tinha dinheiro, como ele não tinha dinheiro, aí bateram com um pau muito forte na cabeça dele, que ele não aguentou. Aí eles, para se livrar do corpo, fizeram o que fizeram.
A carta psicografada por Newton deu a pista que Dona Maria precisava, e com a identificação da ossada, o caso foi retomado, mas a polícia ainda não descobriu qual foi a causa da morte de Galdino.
O estado em que as ossadas foram encontradas não permitiram ao perito legista determinar a causa-morte.
Como é que a senhora se sente hoje?
Hoje eu me sinto bem, graças a Deus, muito aliviada.
E a sua ligação com o seu filho?
Muito grande, muito mesmo. Eu tenho uma ligação com meu filho, assim, coisa que eu não tinha quando ele era vivo, eu não tinha o quanto eu tenho hoje.
Nobody knew if the guy was alive or was dead, and on the letter came saying that he's dead, and said the place where the bones were. How can it be possible? Nobody knew. Her mother thought that he was still alive. Mm-hmm. And he wrote by the hands of the media saying that he was dead. It's just amazing. It's just amazing. Well, let's see here. What we have to pay attention here is not the phenomenon itself, but it was, like I said, what is behind the phenomenon. It shows that we are eternal beings, like I said. The phenomenon here shows that our father and our mother, our son, our way, of course, our way, but just for a while. There will be this meeting again. I have no doubt. I have no doubt. By the things that I've been seeing over the last 15 years, I can't say something different because I had the opportunity to see the phenomenon itself. Mm-hmm. I wish I can take some of these meetings to the U.S. Then we can do a congress and I can take them there. Mm-hmm. And actually, I'm going to London with Newton Souza, a medium from Brazil. We're going to spend 10 days in London. And it's going to be great. We're going to watch that. We're going to play on the video. We're going to do a live there. And we're going to release my new book over there. Because this book is bringing consolation to a lot of people mm-hmm. that are going to surfing. And also for those who do not believe in life after that. Well, this research, it brings us relief because it clarifies things for us. The scientific research puts the knowledge in front of the faith. And when we study science, we learn, we understand, and then we believe. That's the difference between science and religion, because in religion you just have to believe. Doesn't matter, you have to believe, that's all. But when we study science, when we are in the research, we have to learn, we have to understand. After understanding, then we believe. So that's the difference between the science and the religion. But we have to introduce the spirituality as a new knowledge for the humanity, not as a religion. I used to say that all the time. Because science and religion used to travel on the separate roads, but now, who's going to prove the eternity, the immortality? And are not the religions, but the science, the new science. That's what's going on in science. The spirituality did not come to be a religion. The spirituality is the filter of the religions. We are the workers of the last hour. We who does the research, who's bringing new information that nobody dies. We need to take the knowledge we've learned here to our daily basis, to the society, to the schools, to our jobs, to our relations. Because if we start studying about the research that people like Dr. Dawsey, Dr. Jim Tucker, Dr. Alexander, and many others has been doing, we're going to see that science is getting closer to prove the immortality. And Ana Claudia, and you doing this kind of seminary or congress, you're helping to have the opportunity to tell the people, to tell everybody what's going on. Because people, they spend their times working, paying bills. They don't know about it, what's going on in the labs. And we have to tell them what's going on. Next time we gotta bring Dr. Jim Tucker. I've been to the University of Virginia to see Dr. Ian Stevenson works 5 years ago. It's just amazing what that man did. It's just amazing. We're not talking about religion here. Those topics that takes us to our religious consequences. But the religious consequences is the part of arrival. It's not the basis. Mm-hmm. The basis is science. The basis is science. And I just want to say that I'm very happy when I see people like you trying to do this kind of conference. People from all over the world watching, studying. So I think we gotta do that many more times. Okay, and to be finished, I wanna say thank you so much for the opportunity to talk a little bit about my research. I hope next time we can get together, we can get closer, alive.
Yeah.
I'll be able to show the videos, the material that I've got that proves everything that I've been saying here.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm trying to translate my book to English. And a good friend gave me a call about a month ago, trying to find someone to translate and publish the book at the US. But if there's anyone who wants my book, I'll be able to send. And if they like, we can translate to English. Mm-hmm. It's very, very interesting. And you have to plan to take the phenomenon from Brazil to the US. I want to see a million a Brazilian medium writing a letter in English. No, Orlando Noronha and Newton Souza doesn't speak English. It's going to be a great phenomenon. To write in a language that he doesn't speak.
Yes, that's wonderful.
That'd be great. Well, I want to say thank you for everyone, and I hope we can get back soon. And thank you so much, Ana Claudia. God bless you and everybody.
How did you become aware of these cases that you investigate? And a question from me is, what is your criteria? How do you select those cases? Because like you said at the very beginning, you have tons of cases. And how do you really know which one is very good for you to investigate, which one is kind of, maybe it's not the real thing and not really what I'm looking for?
I'll tell you. Well, when we start doing this research, we're trying to prove the immortality. But during this research, I found some frauds, like I said before, and I realized that the people who's doing frauds, they taking information from the internet. And when I see a letter from a medium who does frauds, the letter doesn't come with the name of that people. For example, how can I see the difference between a real letter and a fake letter? Well, there's some points that we just know how to find out the fraud. Like the real letter, the real medium, they let us to do a research with him. The fake medium, they don't want the research. They say that it's a sacred work. They are here to consolate, not to be researchers. So that's the first thing. Because the real medium wants to understand what's going on with him. He wants to know what's going on with him. So they're open for the research. Okay? So that's the first point. The second point, the real mediums, the letters comes with names of dead people. On my research about Chico Xavier's letters, most of the names on the letters were name of dead people. More than 50%. Because dead people doesn't have Facebook. That's why. That's one first point. And there's so many things, details, because when we receive a letter, we have to talk with the families, with the friends. We go to internet. We go to everywhere to see if those informations the media had access to those informations. So it's very tough. It's not easy. Or another thing, the real medium, because there's three kinds of psychography mediums. The mechanic medium is the one who start, like Chico Xavier, who start writing very fast. He doesn't know what he's writing. When he finished, he doesn't know what he has been reading. So this is a mechanic psychography. And there is a semi-mechanic, like the Orlando Noronha, Newton Souza, the one who are on my books. The mechanic mediums are very unusual. I just know one here in Brazil. But most of them are semi-mechanic. They know what's going on close to him. And the third kind of medium is the medium audience or intuitive. They just he feels like he listens like and start writing. But there's something very interesting. The mechanic medium and the semi-mechanic medium, they can write as the spirit used to write when he was alive. They changed the letters. They sign like the spirit used to sign when he was alive. But the intuitive one, it just we call polygraphy. Who can write with using many kind of letters.
Yeah.
But the one who just listen and feel, he's a monography. He just write with one letter, or doesn't matter the spirit. The letter is gonna be the medium's letter, not the spirit letter. But the people who's doing fraud, they don't change the letter. They are monography. They just write down with the same his letter. They give like social security number, stuff like that. So just unbelievable. And they take money. The people, they doing that selling books, make money selling books. So it was very hard because on the first book I had 40 cases. I had 40 cases, and I have this. I just have to. I could just have 5 cases on my book, and it was very, very difficult. On my second book, since the first case until today, I've been studying 250 cases.
Wow!
And my second book, I've got 7 cases, and the second book is. I think it's a book where I did my best. I travel a lot, and it was it was easier than the first one because I knew the frauds on the first book. So when I started writing the second book, when I started just listen a letter, I knew. So when you are on this studying every day, it gets easier, you know. It gets easier.
You start to recognizing a pattern.
Yep.
Yeah. So I guess the next question that we have over here, yeah. So somebody asked, how many cases do you receive as recommendation from someone else for investigation? I guess you said something about 230 cases that you studied, but how many?
About 250 cases, and I've been meeting 25 mediums in Brazil and out of Brazil.
Do you have any case that has happened, for example, overseas?
Yeah,
Like,
first one in Dallas, Texas, with Elizabeth, the first case of my first book.
with the medium, in the medium, I didn't understand very well. The medium was here, or?
But we're gonna have now because we're going to London with the Newton Souza, and I hope we can have a great case to put in my third book. And also I want to say that I don't make money with the books. All my books, the money that I got with the books, I give to the non-profit organization called Frontiers Without Border, and all the money goes to help the children in Mozambique, in Africa. And that's how I don't make money with that. The book's just to help people.
Excellent. Yeah, very good. Thank you so much for doing that. The other question that we got here, what exactly you look for whenever you investigate these cases? Do you look for something specific?
Yeah, I want to prove that we are eternal beings, that there's no death. It's just only life. Nobody died.
Yeah. And I guess
most important thing, because I tell you what, when the mortality will become a reality, we're gonna change many things. We're gonna change many things in our lives. In psychology, if you see a person there, and you see, and if you learn that he doesn't die, that's gonna be distant, that you gotta review many things. And yeah, we are a body, but we are a spirit. We're not a body who got a spirit like the religions used to say. We're trying to prove that we are a spirit, that momentarily we are in a body for a couple of, first 180 years, 90 years. But we're not this body, we are the spirit.
Yeah.
And we're
traveling in a vessel.
Prove that we're gonna take some decades, but I think we're gonna get there.
We'll get there. And the last question that I have here is, from all the cases you have been investigating, which one impressed you most and why?
Well, I'm gonna say two cases. Okay, I'm gonna say two. The first one was the Mateus one, the guy who was shot, who got a red short. That was unbelievable. Because on the book, there's so many things, like her mother used to say that he doesn't want to use the dress. Yeah. They used to work in a restaurant. So they live on the beach, but he used to just put the clothes over here and start walking with her mother to the restaurant. When he got inside of the restaurant, he put the clothes on. He stays on the ladder. Another thing, her mother said that every time when he start screaming, shouting, have a fight with her, not discussion, he used to do like this, cross the arms with the fingers and start doing like this. And it came on the ladder. How can it be possible? Something so, the media could not, how the media knows about this? So there's so many things. But the other case, the one who in Fortaleza, the Juvenal Lagoon, the mother who was looking for the son, and she has spent 2 years looking for him until they receive a letter from his son's grandfather saying that he was dead and say exactly where the body was. Just impressed. It made me something. A month ago, I was in London, and I discovered that there's a university in London called the Art and Family College. It's a university to make mediums. It's a university for mediums in London.
Train mediums, yeah.
Yeah, trained, and I went there. I could not take picture. It was not allowed, because some of those mediums, when they finished, they goes to work and help the Scotland Yard to discover serial killers, crimes, unsolved crimes. So, and a lady who works there, she's gonna give me some cases that those students help to resolve. That she's gonna send to me. Maybe we can try to write down and send to you, make an article or something like that.
We'll be looking forward to hear from you about that. And we have another question here. Have you been confronted by skeptics, scientists? How do you deal with skeptics people? Well,
I used to talk with them. I got a very good friend who doesn't believe in anything. And you know what I tell him? I said, my friend, you're gonna die. You're gonna die. And then you see that we're still gonna see you alive. I'm gonna meet you on the other side. When people believe what they want. Proof doesn't convince anyone. Not the proof who convince, but the maturity, psychological maturity, who the person who is in front of the proof. That's what convinces.
That's true. Well, thank you so much, Guilherme. And like I said, it has been an honor to have you. And we will be looking forward to hear from you and your next researchers. And thank you so much. We appreciate that. Thank you.
Something that for the American people who are watching this video, that I was an exchange student in North Carolina when I was 16 years old. And I had the best year of my life being an exchange student. And I just love American people.
Okay. Thank you. We all love all the people, any people, right? Thank you so much.
So much.
See you. Bye-bye.
Peace for
Thank
you
you,
all.
everyone.